Hello and welcome to Budget with Brian, and today we're going to take a look at this TackLife PRS02A. It's a very inexpensive random orbital sander. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox it, I'm going to show you what you get, I'm going to show it to you running, and then I'm going to tell you whether I think it's any good. But before we go any further, if you're not already a subscriber, please do hit that subscribe button and ding the bell, and we'll let you know when our next videos are coming out. So let's start with the unboxing. This is how it's come. I bought this one on eBay. They are available on Amazon. If you are interested, I will put links below as always. Yeah, it's come cellophaned up like this. I paid somewhere around, and this well could be the cheapest random orbital sander there is, but I paid, I think, £17 delivered. I think the ones on Amazon are closer to sort of 20-25, but you know, they all vary in price. But I did do a little bit of research. This brand, TackLife, seems to have quite a few tools. I also think this particular tool is rebranded with several other brands. I know, for example, Van Hoos have one, which I'll put a link to where we had a look at one of those sort of previously, but we'll see whether this is really very much the same. So, okay, that's the cellophane off. Let's get into the box itself. This box looks like it's sat in the sun for a bit, doesn't it? But let's have a look. So there we go. Oops. That's what you get in the box. Well, that's the box open there. So let's take the first item out. So we've got some soft buffing pads there, which I would imagine are useful for polishing, paintwork or cars or something like that. This is the dust extractor, which we'll have a look at a little bit sort of closer in a moment. Here's the unit itself. Ooh, reasonably heavy. Pleased to see that it has a UK plug on it. I wasn't expecting that necessarily. We've got some instruction manuals and some sanding discs, which is great. And wow, didn't expect that either. A little carry case. So that's pretty neat. So there are all the items out of the packaging and just on display there. So you do get a nice little manual, which I haven't read yet. You get 5 120 grit sanding discs and 5 80. You've got this sponge item here. I don't know how to use that. This is a very sort of soft wool type material. And this is sort of more like a sort of felt. And then, as I said, you've also got this dust collector, which is quite a rigid one, rather than having like a dust bag. This is a more rigid item that comes apart like so. But I'm actually hoping to get a hoover attached to it, but we'll see whether that's actually possible. And then we have the unit itself. This is how it looks. As I said, I'm hoping to attach a hoover to the back of that. And it's got a variable speed, which is great. And yeah, an on-off at the front. In terms of it weight-wise, I think this is all, pretty much a muchness. They all seem to sort of weigh about the same. I mean, you're going to want to have to use it with probably 2 hands to get yourself started initially. Yeah, so I think probably the next thing we'll do is go ahead and get one of these 80 grit discs on and just do a light bit of sanding on some window ledges. Here's the area that I'm going to be sanding. I'm not actually quite ready for sanding yet, but just for the purposes of having a go of this new tool, we're going to have a little bit of a sand anyway. Here's the 80 grit disc. Now, obviously, what you want to do is get the holes lined up with the holes on the device so that you've got half a chance of getting that dust extracted. I'm going to attach the dust collector that came with it before trying the Hoover, and we'll see how we go. I might just zoom out this a little bit. There we go, that's a bit better. So in preparation for this video, I did watch a few other YouTube videos, especially the Festool one and their Rotex range, or their Rotex device, and I was quite interested to see just a few sort of sanding tips that they were giving. And one of them is to start the tool on the work surface, because if you don't, you run the risk of coming at an angle and sort of creating a divot, which then you need to sand out. So that was good advice. The other good piece of advice was that never sort of miss out a sanding grit course. By that I mean step through the courses, so but always go from 80 to 120 to 180, etc. Don't just jump a grit size. And in the main, it's always okay to start off on the highest setting. So, of course, that speed setting is obviously makes a difference for different surfaces you're on, but for the purposes of sanding here, we're going to start off on 6. So, in actual fact, before I do any sanding, let's just turn it on and see it working. Oh, wow. Wow, that really is spinning fast. Maybe I will start it off a little bit lower. Let's see what that's like on its slower setting. Yeah, that's actually a lot more gentle, I think, for what we're looking at doing. No electronic brake there. Don't know whether that's a thing on other sanders, but not on this one. So, yeah, let's do some sanding. Well, okay, that's a little bit less ferocious once it's actually on something. So let's turn that back up to full whack and see how that goes. Well, I have to say that's easy to control with one hand. If I come up a little bit closer here, you can see that we've got a bit of dust leaking. Maybe I haven't connected this correctly, but we're not dealing with a lot of dust. When I look around, there's not a lot of dust in the air, for example. That seems to be okay. Let's just take the dust collector off. Yes, we can see there's some dust coming through, and then hopefully I can undo this lid without it flying everywhere, if there's anything in there. Yep, there is something in there. Yeah, actually, not bad. And, my thoughts of actually using a Hoover on the end of that possibly is not necessarily such a good idea. This seems to be adequate enough. I should imagine this dust filter here is going to need cleaning up, between usage. But yeah, actually, I'm quite impressed with that. Obviously, it's brand new out of the box. Time will tell whether that will remain as effective. That does just push back together. There we go. And then that just clicks on. There we go, nice and solid. All right, so what's the surface like? Well, actually, it's pretty good. You've seen how long I've just been having a quick sand there for. You can see that actually that won't take long to get that to being where it needs to be. And yeah, it's picking up. The cleanup isn't too bad. So all in all, I think for the £17 that I paid for this one, as I said, there'll be links below where you can get these from Amazon and possibly to where I picked this one up from eBay. It seems like a bit of a no-brainer. I'll just flash up on the screen what I was planning on getting, which is a cordless Makita at £80, but I don't think that's doing. I don't think this little TackLife machine is actually doing a a job any better or worse than that Makita's going to. But I'd be interested in your comments. Have you had experience of using these inexpensive sanders against maybe one of the bigger brands? Are they better? Of course, you know, the Festool is the king of the sander, but I'm not really fancying paying 10 times what this unit cost. All in all, I'm very happy with it. As I said, I was blown away by the idea of how many accessories and parts that it came with for the money. So from my perspective, quite a win. Thanks again for watching Budget with Brian. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and don't forget, subscribe!